I went there like the afternoon before, but it was like a 3-hour drive, so by the time I arrived it was like 8 p.m, like 8 p.m. I had this thought because the crew that picked me up were not part of like the original, like they're not part of the team of like this HoloStars English team. So they picked me up and I didn't recognize any one of them except for like one manager. And I had this thought, like, because the manager had to leave to go to use the restroom before we took off on the 3-hour drive, and I was sitting there in the back of the car and I'm like, I don't know who these people are. They could just literally take me and just drive off, and I would have no way to like warn people, you know, like because it was supposed to be like a secret filming thing, right? So there was like, I couldn't just be like, all right guys, I'm going to Fuji Q, I'm going to be leaving in this car, so if I'm not back in like 20 hours or something, send like a search and rescue crew for me, right? Like I didn't say that, you know. It was just like, oh yeah guys, I'm gonna take a break, no streaming for a couple of days, and I'll see you when I get back, right? It was just like that. The area around Fuji Q, it's not like a city, it's like the mountains. It's like the rural area. It's like just mountains, hills, lots of trees, forests, and then like Fuji Q, you know? So I was just talking with Beto, I was like, man, wouldn't it be funny if they just like took us out back and then buried our bodies and no one would ever find out? Like they would never know, you know? Like they wouldn't even know to start looking for us in this region. Alright, so Fuji Q. The hotel they put us in was really creepy. I loved it. They were doing like renovations on like the exterior of the hotel. So you know how they set up scaffolding on buildings, right? It looked like that. We showed up and it was a building covered in tarps and scaffolding and like just tools from construction workers lying all the way, like all around, and we're like, is this the right place? Because it did not look like a hotel at all. It was just covered with tarps. There were like holes here and there, and we're like, what is this place, right? We got inside and the inside was pretty nice, right? But the way they gave us our keys was this like giant metal key. You know how like stereotypical keys look like in those mansions, right? Like it was a key the size of my palm. It was huge, it was thick, it was heavy, and it like jangled like the master key. Yeah, it wasn't like a, like, you know how modern hotels have like a hotel key card, right? And like you tap it on the door and it lets you in or something like that, right? No, it was like a metal key that had been worn for like 70 plus years. Ancient stuff, you know? Not the jingly keys. Real folklore horror vibes. It was really creepy. And like when you went inside, oh my god, like the radio, chat, do you guys know like those old school 90s radios with like the digital reader, like the digital clock face on there, but it's like the red clock face? It has like the wood paneling on the radio, and it had like the really fat dials, right? It wasn't the, like, oh my gosh, the entire thing, it like, it felt like it was frozen in like the 80s or something, and it just did not. Yeah, the black and wood panel one, yeah, those. Oh my god, it was so creepy. It was so creepy. A time skipped hotel. No, it was like legit. Also, the hallways were like covered in plastic tarps. Like I know it was because they were doing construction work and like renovation work, so they didn't want to get the carpets dirty, but because it was covered in tarp, it looked like someone was about to kill you, and they were like, we are prepared to clean up a murder, you know? Like they have all the plastic sheets covering, so if you like spill a whole bunch of blood, they can wrap it up really easily. It was really cool.